Today we are talking about ways to stop worrying and overthinking in your relationship. So stay tuned, we'll talk about this immediately. The first thing I want to tell you is, in this topic that we have, there are three key words: worrying, overthinking, and relationship, the word relationship itself. So what does the word relationship mean? First of all, in order to stop worrying and stressing and overthinking about what is going on in your relationship or where your relationship is going, you need to realize that in a relationship there are two. Usually, what is one of the reasons why we do this is that we take all the blame. We start thinking only from our side, the relationship, and we forget that in a relationship there are two people. So if there are things going wrong, at least half of the blame, let's say half of the responsibility, is also in the other person. So you should not start accusing yourself that you are the only one to blame and that everything is your fault. Of course, the responsibility you have to take for your side for what you will do, but it's not all because of you. First thing is this. So stop stressing about what you are doing wrong and realize that also your partner plays a role in this. So this will relieve half, at least, of your burden. The next thing that we have to consider is that a relationship itself is an exchange of energy between two people. For example, a relationship is not something external. Of course, it has a form. Maybe you live together, maybe you are doing things together. This is from external point of view. But in essence, the relationship is the exchange of energy between you and your partner. So a thing you have to understand is that you are responsible, first of all, for what energy you put into the relationship. Is your energy, for example, inspiring, helping, like contributing, constructive? Or, for example, you are putting your problems into the relationship, you complain, you are stressed, you are just sharing your worries, or you have demands and so on. So you need to take some time to observe as if you are a third person and think, like very rationally and very logically, what type of energy do I put inside my relationship? What type of energy? And you can judge this energy, not judge yourself, the energy from outside. Like, is it encouraging and constructive and positive energy? When I contribute something, is it like this, or is it like some kind of constantly seeing some problem or asking something or generally stressing out? You need to see the overall picture. Also, from your side, you need to take responsibility about what energy you receive from the partner. So also you need to see what energy the partner overall is putting in the relationship. Is the partner helping the relationship? Is the partner contributing in some way? The contribution or the energy you put can be in many levels. It can be mental, can be psychological, can be knowledge, it can be money, it can be opportunities, it can be ideas, it can be many things, right? Relationships with other people. So you, from your side, you are responsible what energy you put in the relationship and to judge what energy you receive. And if in both cases the energy is good, you should be satisfied, then the problems are like in your mind. But if the energy is not okay, that you put or you receive, you have to solve this. So you should take responsibility not to blame yourself, but to solve this problem of what kind of energy you put or you receive. Now, if you will perceive in your relationship that something is going wrong or something is not okay, the first thing you have to do is to communicate it with your partner. But here you have to be careful. When we communicate something that we perceive as negative, we should not communicate it as a complaint, as a blame, or as putting some kind of guilt. Hey, you know, this is wrong what you are doing, or you know, this is going wrong in our relationship. It's your fault. Not like this. Yes? Just communicate the fact that, look, I perceive that there is a problem like this. What do you think from this point of view? If you do this, there are two possibilities. Either your perception is wrong, either your perception is right. Either the problem is real, either is not. It cannot be both. If your perception is wrong, then by discussing it and being open, you will see that it was usually a misunderstanding. Oh no, I didn't say this, or I didn't mean this, or I didn't do this, will tell you your partner. And then you will see, oh, okay, I thought that you meant this, or I thought what you did is about this, and so on, and the misunderstanding will be solved. And in the case that you are right, and there is a problem, then there are also two cases. Either your partner will also want to contribute and solve the problem, or your partner will not agree, will accuse you back, and so on. And in this case that you are open and your partner is not, you will also know what is the reality and what you should be doing. The next thing, the next word from these three, worrying, overthinking, and relationship, is overthinking. So the word overthinking by itself, it means thinking too much, overdoing it. And you have to ask this question to yourself. If you are overthinking about your relationship, whoever was benefited from overthinking about something, like who really can be benefited by overthinking? Just literally ask this question. Who should overthink something? Well, the answer is simple. People who use their mind, they need to use their mind. For example, a scientist in front of a scientific problem, he must overthink it. Put a lot of hours of thinking processes. Maybe a chess player should overthink, should concentrate and think hours about the best movement, combinations of movements, and so on. Maybe a marketeer strategist, he needs to overthink how to formulate the best strategy marketing, which tools to use, and so on and so on. A mathematician, a physicist, these people, professors who are trying to solve equations. But now, in our case, we are talking about our relationship. And you have to ask yourself, what relationship has to do with the mind? Relationship is based on a soul-to-soul connection between two people. Is the mind the right tool to solve problems in a relationship? Of course not. Trying to overthink about your relationship, it would be like a scientist is trying to make the experiment work using his heart, like trying to solve the equation to find the right solution, to invent the new thing using his heart, not his mind. Of course, he would fail. Or the chess player start playing chess using his heart and not really focusing on the next move that he should do, and so on. Of course, don't confuse the emotions, the heart, with intuition. This is another thing. Yes, sometimes scientists use intuitive thinking, or like a chess player can intuitively find the right move. But now we're talking about the soul. So you will not play chess using the soul, basically, you will use the mind. You will not try to solve an equation with your soul, right? So, if you want to think very seriously about your relationship, stop thinking. Stop overthinking, and you need to approach your partner with your heart, with your soul. When we say heart, we don't mean emotionally, like to become emotional, but with your soul, and try to connect more instead of overthinking the problems. Always the solution in a relationship is more soul-to-soul connection with your partner. Probably the problems appear because some level of the soul-to-soul connection that was in the beginning when you were in love is lost. So there is the key, there you need to solve it. Open your heart, approach your partner, try emotionally, like with your heart, with your soul to approach, and then you will solve it, if your partner also wants. And the next is worrying. Now, worrying is really something very bad that you really need to eradicate from your life, and especially worrying about your relationship. Worrying is just bad negative energy, bringing yourself down energetically, emotionally, mentally, and nobody had ever achieved something just by worrying. Yes? If you want to understand how bad is worrying, try to put yourself down and worry all day. For one day, for example, say, I will dedicate this day to worry about something. And then you will see that after a few hours of worrying, you will just be exhausted, tired, and probably you would want to give up totally on this thing that you are worrying about and go do something else. So worrying is just draining your energy. And the only thing that can grow and expand by worrying is for sure your cortisol levels and your tiredness. So worrying about your relationship will result in you getting tired about the relationship and rising your cortisol, your stress hormones, and then this is like bad for you and your relationship. So you need to see worrying as something very bad that you should eradicate from your life. It doesn't matter how much you are right to worry. It's not about right or wrong here, it's about here the result. The result of worrying will not be good even if you are right. It's not important if you are right. If you are right and this results into you become sick, are you satisfied? Of course not. So what we should do instead, we need to do the opposite of these three things that we mentioned before. So the first we said about this in relating. Instead of talking to your partner more and explaining and arguing, you need to learn more to relate. Yes, you need to learn to communicate first, because misunderstandings is the number one thing that destroys relationships. You need also to take responsibility for what energy you put in the relationship, how you see the relationship, what you expect of your relationship, and what energy you receive and what you allow to receive. Second, instead of overthinking, you need to put first the soul part of the relationship. Relationship is something, a connection through the soul. And you need to approach the relationship how you would approach your best friend, for example. You don't overthink about your best friend, about your friendship. You just communicate more. If you want something, you relate to it. It is a soul-to-soul connection as well. But somehow society is passing to us subconsciously this idea that the relationship is something that you should have, as you should have a job, as you should have a car. It's like something that everybody should have. So we take it for granted. Something I have to do anyway. I need to have a partner, to build a life, and so on. But you're not thinking the same about your best friend. It's not say I have to have a best friend. The best friend, or you have or not. Or somebody becomes your best friend, or he cannot be your best friend. It's something that has to come from the soul. The same should be your relationship. It's something that should come from the soul, and it should expand and flourish with the soul. Where also here lies one of the biggest secrets why relationships fail, because we take them for granted. But this is the topic of another video. And worrying, you should do the opposite again. What is the opposite of worrying? Creating, creativity, inspiration, joy, playfulness. Yes? So, if you want to escape from worrying, you need to bring in your life and in your relationship creative things to inspire your partner and yourself first. To start being more playful, to create opportunities and activities together that you can enjoy, not necessarily together like you are stuck one with the other with glue, but for example, you can be together, let's say in a gathering where you would play bowling with your friends. You don't have to play bowling with the same ball to be like a couple in everything, but to be there together sharing a joyful experience, a joyful moment. So when you will do this and your life with your partner will be based on something creative, inspiring, positive, and not just a place where you come back from home and sharing your stresses and your worries and your anger, all the garbage that you gathered through your work, for example, or something else. And of course you have to share with somebody, with whom? With your partner. And of course this destroys the relationship, and sooner or later you will start worrying. So this is what I wanted to tell you. Somewhere here we finish the video. I hope you got some information that will help you and some value from this video. If you liked what you heard, click the like button, share some love with us too, and help the channel to start growing and help the algorithm of YouTube to put the video in front of the eyes of more people to receive this information, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified if you will click the notification bell about new videos that we'll release. So I will see you in the next video. Here's my apartment, I am going now in. I will talk to you soon and take care.